Hey all, Tom Moran here from Tom's Big Spiders. In this episode, we're going to be rehousing my Brachypelma Klaasi, or Mexican Pink Beauty. Picked this one up back in 2016, and she is now about 3.5 inches, showing off her adult colors, and has really turned into an absolutely beautiful spider. I have to be honest, when I picked this one up, I wasn't really in a Brachypelma phase. A lot of times you steer away from ones that you just don't know enough about, so you're not interested in. But after picking her up and growing her up and seeing her colors, I'm absolutely enamored with this spider. So we'll be looking at doing a rehousing here and looking at some of the care. All right, also want to give a quick shout out to a buddy of mine, Deanna. I told her that I was going to give her a shout out, and I didn't, because I didn't think she watched the videos. Well, surprise, she does. And when your friends take an interest in your hobby, you want to kind of encourage it, especially when you tell them you're going to shout them out. So sorry, Dee, for the wait, and here's your shout out. So enough of me talking, let's get into the actual rehousing. All right, so we're about to rehouse my Brachypelma Klaasi, or I believe it's Mexican Pink Beauty. Let me get the top off of this so Billy can get some shots of it before we move her. Put a little extra light on her there. But absolutely gorgeous spider. I got this as a freebie in September 14 of 2016. I ordered from a new dealer who is no longer around, so we won't bother mentioning his name, but he sent one of these and a Brachypelma Bamey. The Bamey is probably about 4.5. I'm looking at her right now, 4.5 inches now. This one is probably a healthy 3.5, 4. I'm terrible at measuring. I think I'm right around the 4-inch mark. So she's put on some decent size. When I got her, she was about a 1/2 inch sling, so about a centimeter or so. And I put her in one of the Jamie's enclosures / Amac boxes. They're like 2 by 2 by 4.25, something around there. And she did great. Burrowed immediately right down to the bottom. I set them up as I do with all my slings with a lower level of moist substrate, but I let the top levels dry out, and she did burrow down to that moisture. Ate great. She was one of the ones I've raised brackies before where they're a little tentative to eat. This one was fantastic. So was the Bamey, for that matter. And I was dropping in small, I believe, red runner nymphs at that point. She was coming up, grabbing them, pulling right into the burrow and eating. I believe the first rehouse was early 2018. We put her into what we have here. Billy wants to back up just for a second to show it off. This is one of these small Exoterra breeding boxes. I have a ton of these. I like them, but I've been moving away from them, and there's nothing wrong with them. The last time I posted this on something, somebody was like, what's wrong with them? There's nothing wrong with them. I'm just going toward different styles of enclosures. I've still held on to them all, so there's a good chance they make an appearance in the future. But I'm always experimenting with new enclosures, and I've been getting them out of these and into stuff that's more crystal clear. Although they're very clear down here, very clear up here. They just, for some of the species, don't allow me to get in as much substrate as I would like. Now, as we're going to put her into, I'm going to leave that here, one of these here, which is the M Design enclosures, which are now back in stock on Amazon. I believe they're about 7.5 by 7 by 12.5 or so. I'll put obviously the real dimensions up in a little note. But I love these crystal clear hinge tops. Open right up. The only problem is they don't latch, but I have shelves designed so that I put 2 of them in a row and it holds down the tops of them perfectly. So what we're going to do, she's rather laid back. I mean, temperament-wise, this one's been really laid back overall, so I'm not sure how to go about rehousing her. I might not even have to cup her, but we'll see how it goes. We'll open this here. I suppose we can probably it's less stressful for her if we do use the cup. There you go. There you go. I'm going to go right in here. Nope, there we go. Right in there. She's one that, honestly, if I was into handling, I wouldn't have any reservations about picking up and handling. And you can see those. It's not orangey. It's more of a pinkish hue to them, which is where they get the name, I believe, Mexican Pink Beauty. I mean, it's not a bright pink, but it's definitely more on the pinkish side as opposed to a red or orange. I'm going to go ahead and, oops, sorry, girl. I'm hoping, I've given her a little extra space in here if she wants to do any burrowing. It's the only problem with the Exoterra breeding boxes. They're a little shallow, so they kind of aren't able to make really good burrows after a certain point. When I put her into the Exoterra breeding box, she was around 1.5 inches, 2 inches or so. Well, it's okay. There you go. There you go. Just move your little feet. And she will be getting full water dish in a moment. Aw. Move this out of the way and slide it underneath here. So now setups, anybody that's watched my videos before is probably pretty familiar with the setups. We have the cork bark. I make a little hide underneath it, dig a little burrow out, put some sphagnum moss in. This is not a moisture dependent species, although I kept the substrate in the bottom moist when she was a sling, and I did give her a moist corner when I moved her into the Exoterra box. For the most part, I let it dry out in between and just gave her a water dish. So here I will continue to give her a little moist spot every once in a while, let it dry out completely, and she'll have a water dish for water, and she is one I have seen drinking many times out of the water dish. Substrate is Biodude substrate. You could use peat, you could use cocoa fiber, you can use topsoil, you can use a combination of all of them. It doesn't really matter. It's just what I choose to use. And I have some leaf litter in here just because I like the way that it makes things look. So she will probably be in here for quite a while. So as far as a juvenile is concerned, you're looking at the 2-inch mark. Anything around a gallon or 2 gallons is going to give them plenty of room to grow. She is a slower grower overall, but again, one of those species when she hit like the I'd say 1 1/4, 1.5 inch mark, she started to really put on some serious size, which was great. As far as temperatures are concerned, the majority of my guys are kept in the low 70s during the winter time, the high 70s up to 80, 82 in the summertime or so. Right now in the new tarantula room, the majority of the room is kept right around the low 70s. When the older tarantula room, some of the higher shelves got a little bit higher during the winter time, but right now it's like mid to 72 right now I think I keep it at, and some of the shelves might get up to 73 or 74. Shelf she's on is a 71, a little lower shelf. Now as far as feeding juveniles, because we didn't talk about the juveniles, I feed my juveniles once a week. She was getting like a medium cricket or so. Now that she's a little bigger, about 4 inches, I drop in a large cricket. She takes them down, no problem. Every once in a while, I'll drop in 2. For adult enclosure, this is a medium-sized species, so she'll probably get to be about 5, 6 inches or so. Something around the 5-gallon size would be perfect. It could be an extra large critter keeper. It could be one of the 5-gallon acrylics. Something that offers, at that point, more floor space than height, because I don't guess she's going to be doing much burrowing after that. This one here, again, 7 by about 12 or so, should hold her for quite a few more molts, and then we'll look into something pretty for an adult enclosure. So there we go, Brachypelma Klaasi, Mexican Pink Beauty. Awesome little spider, very easy to take care of. Yes, definitely one of the ones that could be on the beginner species list. I think the only thing that would hold them off is the fact that they are very pricey when you do find them. I was really excited when I got this one as a freebie back in the day, because they were very difficult to come by then. So if you can find them and you're looking for a pretty beginner species, these guys definitely fit the bill. All right, so again, for folks looking for a good beginner tarantula, these guys don't get mentioned all that much on the beginner species list, I think because they're not that commonly available. But if you do see one out there, yes, it does fit the bill, so I would encourage you to grab it up. Just know that if you get a sling, it's going to be a little while before it starts showing those adult colors. If I remember correctly, this one started showing some of those pinkish legs at around the 2-inch mark, which at that point was around 2 years or so, I think it took her to reach that. So it's going to be a little while, but it's well worth the wait, and it did grow rather quickly compared to other Brachypelma species I've had. Not quite as fast as a Bamey, but definitely faster than my Smithy or Hammer I have. So for those that can find them out there, I definitely encourage you to grab them up, because you don't see them all that often, and it can sometimes be a couple years before you see them offered again if you choose to pass on. So that will do it for this one. As always, if you enjoyed it enough to subscribe, very much appreciate it. Click the little circle up there. If you'd like to check out some more videos to see what I'm about, you can find them over in here. Please feel free to comment. I respond to all comments. It can take me a couple days, but know that if you comment, I will respond. That'll do it for this one, guys. Stay safe. We'll catch you all next time.